Hey, this is John Carlos, and right now I am happier than C-3PO in an oil bath because I got the Star Wars Black San Diego Comic-Con 2013 exclusive Boba Fett and Han Solo in Carbonite, which is something I was not able to get at the San Diego Comic-Con that year, but I managed to get it after the fact, and I am very happy about that. Here's a closer look at the packaging with his little, spiel on the back and the little artwork. And I like the fact that the front is very simple. There's a gloss, creates the shape of his face. It's classy. I dig it. And he comes with Boba Fett, Han Solo and Carbonite. His rocket pack is 2 guns. One thing I like about it is that they're all held in with this, so you can kind of hold it up vertically and it all looks nice. And here's the pieces to make the floating Han Solo stand. So let's go check all this out. Before we take a look at the actual toy, I just want to give you guys a closer look at the artwork on the inner packaging next to each accessory. I think it looks really cool the way they laid this out. Also, I just want to show you guys that the inside box lid has the Star Wars Black Series written on it, so that's a nice little touch. Alright, let's start off with the articulation, because there are some things worth noting. His elbow joint right here, rather normal, connects to the basic arm. This arm, however, has a swivel in the bicep, an additional piece of articulation. That's because it has a little cable that connects to his gauntlet. So I like that. Also, I like that the gauntlet moves over the arm. It's a separate piece of articulation there before you get to the wrist, which has the little hinged ball joint in it. Same thing with this side. The gauntlet does move on its own. So that's a nice piece of articulation. Aside from the basics, you got the mid-stomach cut, you got the legs. However, the legs cannot swing that far forward because these pouches, which are screen accurate, but the pouches get in the way. So if you're a big articulation junkie, that might be a problem for you. But the mid-thigh cut works. I love the double knee joint. I love that this piece kind of covers up that joint a bit. This is one of my favorite double knee joints I've ever seen because he really does have a good piece of knee work on there. And I do like the hinged feet. You got the basic ankle hinges, but you've also got those foot swivels, and I love these foot swivels. They help stabilize figures much better. Lastly, we've got his head. He's got the hinged neck, which you can see there, but he's also got a ball joint at the top of the head, so it does allow you some really good range of motion. It's very appropriate for the helmet, and with the neck and the ball joint going forward like that, he can kind of walk like an Egyptian, if you will. Now let's take a closer look at the paint. The paint is really, really good on this. I mean, it's really well done as far as like the metal. I mean, I know it's painted over the like burgundy and green, but it does create a really good effect. Because it's not like a solid paint, it does fade out at the edges, so it gives it that extra little dimension. And I really like that. It's a little bit more detailed than I was expecting from Hasbro. The paint scheme on the whole is really well done. It certainly reads well. The screen accurate colors are well done as far as like, the Mandalorian logo on his side. The red's right in that sculpt there. I like the logo there. They did a good job painting the Wookiee braids. But all the little nicks and dent in the armor and all the right colors of yellow and green, it all looks really good. I can't get over how good his gauntlet looks. Little tiny blue and red dots in there. All that on the side. It looks really good. Even these little metal clips, they may be painted slightly off, but they look great. Now we'll take a look at all his little accessories that he comes with, his guns, his rocket pack, and all that. Here's a look at his rocket pack, and I love the fact they sculpted those little grooves and painted them all going along that top section there. The paint's good, but the sculpting, like these little tiny grooves that go around that base and how they're painted black too, I think this turned out really cool. Now let's go ahead and attach this to the back of Boba Fett, just so you guys can see. Very easy. We'll also take a look at his blaster. Very simple. And also his bigger blaster, which I like the use of silver paint along the black there, and even just that the butt of the gun. Looks really, really good. And we'll take his blaster and we'll put it in the holster there. And that looks really cool. Now the figure comes with these 2 pieces that connect here and at the bottom like that. and then they slide in to the bottom of the base like that. What this allows you to do is these two hooks here hook into the bottom of the carbonite, and then there's a little hole plug on the back, and that's how you get him to stand upright. And he can also be floating like when they're taking him out of Cloud City, which looks awesome. And now we'll take a closer look at the Han Solo in Carbonite accessory. I think they did a pretty good job capturing the likeness of what he looks like in Carbonite in such a small scale. They did get those that little running line that comes out of his mouth. I mean, the eyes aren't that super detailed, but the mouth looks good, as do the hands. But I do like the color on the sides. They did all the little green monitor, the little light up doodad on the side. But the sculpting on this looks really good. All these little pieces are very well sculpted, as is the bottom. But I do like the sculpting on this quite a bit. Even though I'm already a fan of the Black Series, I'm still surprised by some of the details on this. Like this gray paint at the bottom of his legs that makes him look all dirty and not so clean. It's little details like that that really impress me about this figure. Yeah, the sculpt is good, the articulation's nice, but it's the paint and the little details in there that I really, really dig. And I'm really, really happy this action figure exists. I'm already a big fan of Star Wars The Black Series. I've always wanted 6-inch Star Wars figures. But Boba Fett is my all-time favorite character from all the Star Wars films. So I'm really, really, really happy that they made this figure and that he's finally in my collection, because I freaking love it. Thanks for watching.